Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Oh, Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Parikacharya, Astatara Satta Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Parikacharya, Astatara Satta Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Granthad Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yogya Ki Jai. Priya Mridanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Krishna Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, thank you. Oh, this thing is like loose. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Gevadai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Can I get that chicka-ching? Chicka-ching. Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Thank you. Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So everyone together will do the Sanskrit and the English. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotanam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudiyayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtapayesha badeshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an empirical fact. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another auspicious, beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam class. I want to welcome back Mother Tami. We've been missing you. I hope you have a nice trip. And also Mother Kritika also. Today is a very auspicious day. Two of our very important Vaishnavis are back. So welcome. Before we get going on the verses, I just wanted to practice a little bit of gratitude this morning. Because what is love without gratitude? You know, that's the first step, is to think, you know, what has Krishna done for me, you know, or what is Krishna doing for me like every single day? So, if you may, can you please just shout out something that you're grateful for right now? Anything. Sadhu Sangha, Jai. Anything else? Radha Kalachandji community. Thank you. Yes. Anything else? Being here and listening to Bhagavatam class. Yes. All the devotees that dress Kalachandji so beautifully. I'm just amazed every single morning. I've been here, I think, 6 months, and I don't see the same. Like, I never see the same outfits or anything. It's amazing. Everything here is first class. Everything here is first class. So I'm super grateful because I came from afar. But even if you're born here, it's good to just pay attention and realize, wow, look how fortunate we are. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, verses, just a few verses today, 19, and then the next one is a combination of 20 and 21. So here we have, the chapter is called The Instructions of, what is it? It's the Instructions of Yamaraj. I want to just confirm this. Yamaraj instructs his messengers. So just a little bit brief recap of what's going on here for those who have been away or for those who are new. Ajamil was a very sinful man. Although he used to be a brahmana, he used to be very pious, but he ended up living a sinful life. And so at the end of his life, when he was about to leave his body, the Yamadutas, the agents of Yamaraj, the lord of death, came to get him. And he was really scared. And so he cried out for his oldest son's name, which is Narayan, which is the name of Vishnu or God. And so Vishnu sent his agents to protect Jamil from the Yamadutas because he cried out the name of Narayan. And so now the Yamadutas went away, and Jamil was saved, and he ended up getting liberated, becoming a pure devotee. It's a beautiful ending. But the Yamadutas are really bewildered. They're like, what just happened? We thought that our, Yamaraj, our Lord, was the Almighty. Like we didn't know there was anybody above him. So they went to see Yamaraj, and they explained what happened. And these are some of the instructions that Yamaraj is responding to the Yamadutas. Basically, he's letting them know who are the authorities. Who is it that we can trust to give us the highest knowledge about spirituality? So, somebody have a microphone? We'll read 19 and then 20 and 21, please.
Real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although fully situated in the mode of goodness. Even the great Rishis.
Yeah, when you have a dot under the R, it's like a re sound.
Rishis?
Yeah.
Okay. Rishis who occupy the topmost planets cannot ascertain the real religious principles, nor can the demigods or the leaders of Sita Loka. To say nothing of the asuras, ordinary human beings, Vidyadharas, and Charanas.
Thank you. And actually, we'll read the purport too. So, Dustin, can you read the purport, please?
When challenged by the Vishnu Dutas to describe the principles of religion, the Yamadutas said, Veda pranihito dharmaha. The religious principles are the principles enacted in the Vedic literature. They did not know, however, that the Vedic literature contains ritualistic ceremonies that are not transcendental, but are meant to keep peace and order among materialistic persons in the material world. Real religious principles are nishtraikunya, above the three modes of material nature, or transcendental. The Yamadutas did not know these transcendental religious principles, and therefore, when prevented from arresting Ajamil, they are surprised. Materialistic persons who attach all their faith to the Vedic literatures are described in the Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, Veda vada rata partha nanyad astiti vadinya. The supposed followers of the Vedas say that there is nothing beyond the Vedic ceremonies. Indeed, there is a group of men in India who are very fond of the Vedic literatures. Rituals, my apologies. Not understanding the meanings of these rituals, which are intended to elevate one gradually to the transcendental platform of knowing Krishna. Vedais chai sarver aham eva vedya. Those who do not know this principle, but who simply attach their faith to the Vedic rituals, are called Veda Vada Rata.
Can we have another devotee read the second part, please?
Herein it is stated that the real religious principle is that which is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That principle is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. One should give up all other duties and surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna. That is real religious principle. Everyone should follow. Even though one follows Vedic scriptures, one may not know this transcendental principle, for it is not known to everyone. To say nothing of human beings, even the demigods and the upper planetary systems are unaware of it. This transcendental religious principle must be understood from the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly or from his special representative, as stated in the next verses.
Yeah, so there's a misunderstanding with some people that, you know, the Vedas can give us the highest knowledge. I met one Muslim student at the University of Ottawa, and he was saying, he's like, yeah, I've been looking into the Vedas, and you know, the Vedas are really like that's the core of what's important. Everything else is like extra, you know, like Puranas is like extra, but really like what matters is the Vedas, because that's how it works in other religions. It's like they have the Quran, and that's like their most important scripture, and then you have the Hadiths, which are like kind of extra. But if something in the Hadith is like seems contrary to what's in the Quran, then they'll take the Quran because that's like their source material. The same thing with like the Bible, that's like the core thing. But for us, it's not quite like that. It's more like a ladder, actually. So a lot of what's said in the Vedas is has to do with more like the material energy or the modes of material nature. Krishna, he says here, Yamimam pushpitam vacham pavadantya vipashita veda vadarata partha nanyadastiti vadinaha kamatmana svagapara janma karma phalapadam kriya vishesha bahulam Bogaishvarya Gatim Pati. So this is chapter 2, verses 42 and 43. Krishna, he says, men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. And then in 245, he says, Trigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtrigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Chema Atmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature, O Arjuna. Become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So the purpose, that was good, eh? Yeah, that's a really nice verse. Yeah, I don't hear this one so much, but it is very crucial. Yeah, to understand. It's all like, you know, it's all like a wonderful arrangement that Krishna has for us. It's like, okay, most of us, we're in the material world because we have material desires. We want to enjoy the material world in some way or another. So then Krishna arranges that we have these spiritual scriptures, but that are meant to help us achieve our material goals. But at least you're going to spiritual scriptures, like at least you're going to demigods, or and you're doing rituals, and like, and in that way you're purifying. And what happens is that you're developing faith in Vedic scriptures, because you're like, oh, it's helping me with my material desires. But eventually it's purifying you. And then as you study the scriptures more, then you realize, oh, wait a minute. There's something higher than just the material world. There's something higher, more enjoyable, more blissful than just enjoying the material world. Savai Pumsham Paudamo. That we have an eternal constitutional position as servants of Krishna, and we're meant to go back to that role, and that's how we can be totally happy. So it's really like amazing arrangement that we have here. So we'll read the next verse of the Bhagavatam, please. We were supposed to recite the Sanskrit of the last one, but we'll recite the Sanskrit of this one, because this one is also very, very crucial, and we'll hear it a lot in our studies. So, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Palado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam Dvadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhataha Kuyam Vishudam Durbodam Yam Gyat Varmitam Ashnute. Please recite. Vayambu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manuhu Halado Jojaniko Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam Vada Shaite Vijanimo Dharman Bhagavatam Bhatta Kuyam Vishudam Durbodam Yam Yadvam Hitam Ashnute Svayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manuhu Palado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayashaki Vayam Vadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhata Kuyam Vishudam Durbodam Yam Yadvam Hitam. So can somebody tell me what this verse is talking about? The scholars in the room, I'm sure they know. The 12 Mahajans, yeah. Mother Manjari Gopika was talking about this verse, I think, just on Friday or something, yeah. Yeah, the 12 Mahajans, the 12 great authorities that are prescribed or that are assigned to us, that we know we can follow their directions in terms of the highest, the absolute truth about God and who we are and everything. So the translation goes like this. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principles. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. Jai. So repeat after me. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord, and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. Isn't this ecstatic? Even just to say these names, even just to say these names is very, very auspicious. Because these names are our gateway back to Godhead. Following the instructions in the disciplic succession of these great souls is how we can be liberated. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna refers to Bhagavat Dharma. Actually, I'll get somebody to read it. Can somebody read this, please?
In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna refers to Bhagavad Dharma as the most confidential religious principle. Sarva Goya Tamam Goya Goya Taram. Krishna says to Arjun, because you are my very dear friend, I am explaining to you the most confidential religion. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. One may ask, if this principle is very rarely understood, what is the use of it? In answer, Yamaraj states herein that this religious principle is understandable if one follows the parampara system of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, and the other standard authorities. There are 4 lines of disciplinic succession, one from Lord Brahma, one from Lord Shiva, one from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and one from the Kumaras. The disciplinic succession from Lord Brahma is called Brahma Sampradaya. Succession from Lord Shiva, Shambhu, is called Rudra Sampradaya. The one from the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi ji, is called the Shri Sampradaya, and the one from the Kumaras is called Kumar Sampradaya. One must take shelter of one of these 4 sampradayas in order to understand the most confidential religious system. In the Padma Purana it is said, Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantras Te Nishphala Mata. If one does not follow the 4 recognized disciplinic successions, his mantra or initiation is useless. In the present day, there are many Apa Sampradayas or Sampradayas which are not bona fide, which have no link to authorities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Kumaras, or Lakshmi. People are misguided by such sampradayas. The Shastras say that being initiated in such a sampradaya is a useless waste of time, for it will never enable one to understand the real religious principles.
Jai. Thank you. So, what Srila Prabhupada here is talking about is, first of all, the 12 Mahajans. So I have a picture here. Which one is this one? Which one is this one? Yes. Which one is this one? Which one is this one? Which one is this one? This one. Janak Maharaj? Janak Maharaj. This one. This one. This one. That one I wasn't sure, but the only one that wasn't mentioned was Swayambhuva Manu. So it seems like that would be him. This one? This one? Bali Maharaj. And this one? Jai. I got the most excitement for Bhishma Dev for some reason. He's pretty awesome. I guess we're in the Bhishma, what is it called? Panchak? Yeah, the 5 last days before he left his body. So hopefully some devotees will talk about that. But these are the great authorities that we can trust to know about Krishna, because we can't understand from our own material senses. We're very limited. So we have to follow authorities, and these are the authorities. So in the Bhagavatam, you have Shukadev Goswami speaking. So then we know we can trust the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you have all these other great personalities in there also. And then another thing that Srila Prabhupada talked about was the 4 sampradayas. What's a sampradaya? Yeah, disciplic succession. So you have here is really blurry picture. I'm sorry, I don't know why all the pictures are so blurry, but here on top is Krishna, it's supposed to be Krishna. And so he gave the knowledge of the absolute truth about devotional service and all of that to 4 of his greatest devotees. So Lord Brahma, Goddess Lakshmi, or call her also Shri, Lord Shiva, and the 4 Kumaras. And then they were given the task to pass down this knowledge and disciplic succession from one spiritual master to student all the way down to us. And so the recognized acharya in the modern age for each one of these leaders of the sampradayas, for the Brahma sampradaya, that's the one we're in, we have Madhvacharya. In the Sri sampradaya, we have Ramanuja acharya. In Lord Shiva sampradaya, we have Vishnu Swami. And in the four Kumaras sampradaya, we have Nimbarka acharya. So what you'll notice when you read Srila Prabhupada's books is that he's not only quoting from Madhvacharya, he'll also quote from Ramanujacharya. So it shows, the different sampradayas are bona fide. They can lead us to break the cycle of birth and death if we follow them strictly. However, I will say one thing is that I'll show what's special about can somebody tell me what's special about our sampradaya, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya sampradaya? So you see, we start with Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyas, Madhvacharya, and then it goes down, and then, there seems to be a special personality here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is Krishna himself, in the mood of Radharani. So Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, came down and served and taught and learned as part of the Brahma Sampradaya. So that makes it a bit special. And not only that, but he actually consolidated the four Sampradayas into one by taking two principles of each of them and putting them together so that we can all hold hands and be happy and sing Kumbaya. And there's no... I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So I found this article here on vrindavan.org that actually explains the different features of each sampradaya that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kind of took and put it in his presentation of Siddhanta. So it says here that Ramanuja, in the Ramanuja of the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja of the Sri Sampradaya preached the philosophy of Dasya Rasa and Vishishta Advaita. So it said that he was actually reborn in the stories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, named Ananta, who lived near Vallabhacharya's house. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the following two principles from the Lakshmi disciplic succession. One, the concept of unalloyed devotion, free from karma and gyan, ananya bhakti, so just straight pure bhakti, no kitchery here. And then two, service to the devotees. So it's important to serve the devotees. We don't think, I can just serve God directly. No, we serve God by serving his devotees, and that's the most pleasing thing. And then from the Madhva, or the Brahma Sampradaya, so Madhva, he preached Dvaita philosophy, which is that there is a difference between me and God. We're not like all one, or there's duality. And so he took, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took the following points from this sampradaya. One, the complete defeat of the Mayavadi philosophy, Keval Advaita Nirasana. So he came to fight. He's like, no, none of this Mayavad stuff, kicking it out. It's a huge offense to think I'm God. And so, complete defeat. And then two, the worship of the deity of Krishna and understanding it to be eternal. So we have the worship of Krishna. Krishna is in all of our temples around the world. And then Vishnu Swami of the Rudra Sampradaya, he preached Suddha Advaita philosophy. And so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted the following from this sampradaya. The sentiment of total dependence on Krishna, Tadiya Sarvasva Bhava. So that's one of the principles of surrender that Bhaktivinoda Thakur teaches us, is just to feel like totally dependent on Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy. Two, the path of spontaneous devotional service, so Raga Marg, so we can learn about that from the Nectar of Devotion, by Rupa Goswami, talks about spontaneous devotional service. So, you know, we all start at the platform of sadhana bhakti, where we're just, okay, I gotta get up at this time and chant this amount of rounds and read this much and eat this food, and like, you know, you're kind of like regulating yourself like that. But the goal is eventually you get to the point where you have raganuga bhakti, where it's just spontaneous loving service, and you don't have to think, oh, I should do this. It's just like you're just in love with Krishna, so you just do all these things. And then the last one is from the Nimbarka of the Kumara Sampradaya. He preached Dvaita Advaita philosophy. So the 2 points that were accepted from him was the need of taking exclusive shelter of Radhika, Ekanta Radhika Shraya. So here we're bringing the importance of Srimati Radharani, that it's not just about Krishna, that we need to worship Radha and Krishna together, because she is his pleasure potency, she is his greatest devotee, and he is completely surrendered to her. Like, he's completely under her control. So we, you know, in order for him to accept us and to bring us back, we need to get her mercy, we need to get her favor. So before Lord Chaitanya, I heard, you know, there wasn't so many Radharani's deities, even in India. There was Krishna, but there wasn't so much Radha. And after Lord Chaitanya, then, you know, Krishna was blessed with so many Radharanis to come in and join him. And now we get the full understanding with them both there. And then second, the exalted mood of the gopis' love for Krishna. So this is very important, because we understand the gopis are the highest devotees, and they bring the Vraj, you know, they bring the Vraj mood, the mood of Vrindavan, of you know, this month we're celebrating the childhood pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, and it's so sweet because there's none of this awe and reverence. There's none of these like you know, servitude, you know, being a servant. It's just like, Krishna's my son, I love him. Krishna's my friend, I want to play with him. Krishna's my lover. And that's the highest mood that we can have, and that's the most pleasing to him. So those are some of the thoughts. Those are the things I wanted to talk about. I thank you very much for listening. If you have, please let me know if you have any questions or thoughts, or yeah, it's important. Even just something you want to just repeat, just so you can remember it. Yes, Prabhu. Is it this one? You want to read it again? The subject of material, what's the material nature? O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Somebody want to give him a microphone, please? Just there's people online that... Even the people online will hear, you think?
That's the idea. No, I just, I used to memorize it back when I was the brahmachari. This was a very important verse to me. And I could memorize it and quote it, etc. And I had forgotten it till today, how important this verse was. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. That's pretty much the essence of our practice, in a sense, by chanting Hare Krishna. That's just such an important statement. Gain and safety. We're always worried.
It's true. Thank you for making me realize how it really encompasses our ultimate goal here, that being free from dualities, meaning that good and bad, you know, happy, sad, praise, honor, yeah, hot and cold, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll ask you, Prabhu, how can that happen? How can we be free from all dualities? So just by shutting the mind off and keeping our focus on the holy name, and or some transcendental activities. Yeah, so just be completely immersed in the service, like 24/7. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Okay. Okay, we need to use microphones. I'm sorry, but I don't want to get complaints online.
Could you go into more detail about what be established in the self means?
Now I'm giving the pretentious illusion that I'm self-realized. So I don't mean to mean that, but I have at least some knowledge. But being established in the self is to realize your eternality. That the three modes of material nature are always interacting, and everything we see and everything we experience out in the material world are combinations of these elements. But simultaneously, there is a spiritual realm where Krishna's pastimes are taking place, and having faith that as an eternal spirit soul, these combinations of material elements are just a temporary situation, and one day we'll wake up and be, oh, I'm free from that. I'm in the spiritual world again. So that's my concept of being established in the self, is having faith, knowing I'm part and parcel of Krishna as an eternal spiritual being, that this is just all a temporary dream. Does that make sense?
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I just feel like I always talk too much.
No, you should be sitting here. You should be giving class. That would be awesome. Yeah, aham brahmasmi, being aware, okay, I am Brahman, I am spirit soul. And then also gopi pada kamalayo dasa dasanudas, that I'm just nothing but servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. So I would say that's being established in the self. Anybody else have any thoughts or questions or anything on your mind? Yes. Let me bring the microphone to Mataji, please. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So you were mentioning that our sampradaya establishes the worship of Radha Krishna. This is so important. Srila Prabhupada would write many letters to us in the early days explaining that he has invited Radha Krishna to come and reside in our temples. He said, because as soon as anyone comes to the temple and they see the worship of Radha Krishna, the holy offerings of food, the artis, the dressings, he said that immediately they will reawaken their eternal loving relationship with Radha Krishna. And I've said this, I've mentioned this before, but many times, many of Prabhupada's life members, they would talk to Prabhupada and they'd say, oh, I'm Ram Bhakta. I'm Ram Bhakta. And then Prabhupada would explain, I am teaching love for Radha Krishna. And so, but at the same time, Srila Prabhupada installed Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman in Delhi way back in the early 70s. So although he's establishing Radha Krishna worship, then also he's accommodating, he's facilitating people who love Ram. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, actually. Because on one hand, we hear, okay, Krishna has different forms, different features. Lord Ramachandra, different avatars, and you know, it's totally valid to love and serve them, whichever one you're most attracted to. And at the same time, we hear there's 5 different relationships we can have with Krishna, as you know, a servant, or like neutral, like awe and reverence, or as a friend, as a, you know, son, as a lover, all of that. But if we read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and if we listen to the prayers we sing to Tulsi Maharani every morning, we can tell that Lord Chaitanya, he brought us, you know, love of Madhurya Ras, like, you know, conjugal love, and in the mood of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So how do we, you know, reconcile these two things? I'll leave it open.
What's your question?
How do we reconcile that? Like you said, you know, on one hand, Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya brought us, you know, Radha Krishna worship and in the mood of, you know, the mood of the gopis, and on the other hand, you know, he would also validate that we can love and serve Lord Ram, or we can be like a friend, or we can be, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Because Srila Prabhupada is so compassionate and so merciful, and he knows all the sampradayas perfectly. So when he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he is the Jagat Guru of the universe for now and for the next 10,000 years and for always. I mean, it'll always be written. So the founder Acharya, he gives the standard of worship. And with that standard, we should understand that he's giving the highest, the best, the easiest, the sweetest. So he's establishing Radha Krishna worship. He's accommodating other people in their love and their service. But he's saying it up front, Radha Krishna, hey Radhe. That's what he's saying. So according to our own personal feelings and advancement, then we will come to serve him. But again, we should know that he's giving us the highest, the best. And at the same time, he's like a loving father who's going to facilitate his children however they are inclined. Also, I had a question you mentioned in your class about we can all sing Kumbaya and be happy. So where does Kumbaya, I mean, I've heard that song, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya, but where does it come from? Is it a rock music? Was it a popular song? Because I've always heard it, but I never knew where it came from.
Africa originally. Yeah. I don't know so much. It came to my mind, but I think it's like from African origin.
That was great. It was very it's very appropriate.
Thank you very much.
But as far as Radha Krishna, we see also, like after Srila Prabhupada departed, of course he's always with us, but many more deities of Ram, Sita Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman were installed by the present management, GBC. They installed more Sita Ram around the world. We have them in Bhaktivedanta Manor. They're in different places. And so it's very important that each person develops their love. Those Sita Ram Bhaktas, when they see the worship of Radha Krishna, they may decide, oh, well, I'd like to get to know Radha Krishna service, devotional service. But Prabhupada always gave the standards. Like immediately in the very beginning, he gave the 4 regulative principles. And we've heard so much controversy about, well, I'm following 2. Prabhupada was very adamant, and he said, if you don't want to follow what I'm saying, then don't take initiation. He said, it's not a farce. He said, we are trying to come to the human standard, and from the human standard, then we can rise up to transcendental loving service. Why? Because it's our constitutional position. That's where we started from. It's where we belong, is serving Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, or Dwarka or Mathura. So this is Prabhupada's cutting right through everything and saying, here it is, on a silver platter. You can take it, you can do what you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gokulananda Prabhu, you have something? Maybe one last comment, then we'll close.
That was a deep insight given by Mother Sucharya. Thank you so much. That was a deep insight. Thank you for sharing. So I would like to just add, we spoke about the four sampradayas, which are like universities, right? So how fortunate we are when we think about, going back to a question, when we think about the philosophy of Radha Krishna, which is the topmost PhD level syllabus that has been given in this university, which is not given in any other universities. There is this beautiful song that comes to my mind where it says, Yadi gaur na hoito tabe kyu hoito, jagat radhar mahima prema rasa sima jagati janati ki. So Prabhupada said, just like a rich person, when he's in an intoxicated state of mind, doesn't realize that he's been just distributing the wealth that he has in that state of mind. So similarly, we look at the teachings of all these sampradayas. They give the post-graduation philosophy, but when Krishna himself came, he didn't speak about Radha Krishna and their confidential pastimes, right? So only when he comes in that intoxicated state of mind, of love of Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radhani, he is just disclosing his personal, private life and affairs to the whole world. And that is being given here. And at the same time, going back to a question, Prabhupada is an acharya, and acharyas are expert in knowing that there are different strokes for different folks. So there are all kinds of people that come. Like when he explained the meaning of Mahamantra, specifically talking about the word Rama. So at one level, there is an understanding that Lord Ram refers to Lord Ram, right? Ramachandra. Another level, Lord Ram also means Balaram. But the topmost level is Radharaman, one who is engrossed, always enjoying, right, the rasa, the topmost conjugal love with Srimati Radharani. So there are different strokes for different folks, and he also said, although we have Radha Krishna on the altar, we worship them in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. So $500 bill or $100 bill, it encompasses the minimum amount bills also, $20, $10. That's my understanding.
Thank you very much. No Radha Kalachandji Bhagavatam is complete without Gokulananda Prabhu's input on it. All right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Ayi Ayi Bo.